Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie and today I'm gonna just do, oh my gosh, hold on, I got soap in my eye. Anyway, let me move this so it's, there we go. So today I'm gonna do a get ready with me, but I wanna do an in-depth foundation routine. So I will be doing all the steps of getting ready, but if you want to see just the foundation routine, I'll put a timestamp down so you don't have to sit through everything else. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If you like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe before you leave. So I'm gonna start with how I start. Oh my gosh, hold on, I have to get something. I'm gonna start with how I've been starting my makeup every single day. So I'm gonna use a primer spray. This one is the Wet n Wild one, the new one. It's the Photo Focus Primer Water Spray in Paradise Potion. So I'm just gonna spray that. I like to get my hair away from me so it doesn't get frizzy. And this has a nice sprayer, but it sprays like out. So I like to spray it really close to my face. And then I'll let that sink in a little bit. I like to do my brows next. So I need more of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and take my brow tint from Ulta to just kind of move my eyebrows up. Helps give them that really feathery look. This is like no product. I could almost use this as a spoolie. So I'm going to take my Brow Wiz. I'm trying to use this up. I normally use Jet Brow, but I do use brow pencil from time to time. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes. So I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Fair. It's like the lightest shade that they have. I've been liking this lately with a specific foundation. I'll talk about that today, but I'm going to take the IT Cosmetics, I don't know what this is, and I'm going to take the shade Linen in the Lorac Pro Matte palette. And this is like a white shade, and I like to take this as almost like a brow bone highlight, but also to set my eyeshadow. But I think I mentioned I'm trying to go through some of my non-cruelty free products. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Paints Metallic Eyeshadow. And I'm kind of just going to like spread this all around my eyes. And then I'll take a matte shade to blend it out. And I'm taking this all the way up into the crease. If you aren't cruelty free, these are really good eyeshadows. Essence also has some really good metallics. Okay, so now I'm going to go in to that Lorac palette and take that pink mauve shade. I'm going to use that to just blend out the edges a little bit and soften everything up just slightly. I'm going to go back in with that metallic just to add a little bit more color. So I was going to do winged liner, and then I remembered that I don't have a makeup wipe to clean up the wing, and I have to have that. So I'm just going to take some pencil liner. I'm going to take the NYX Faux Black in Black Olive and then I'm also going to take an angled brush. This is a Luxie 215, and I'm going to go back into this palette and then take the jet black shade, just kind of line. That's super pigmented. And I'll create a wing with this as well. This eye, I have trouble like shutting. I know it sounds so stupid, but like I can do my eye makeup better when my eye is, or sorry, I can't keep it open when I do, or it's hard for me to do my eyes shut with this one, so I have to do everything with my eye open. This one, it's hard for me to do it when it's open. I'm going to take a Luxie medium angled shading brush. This is really for nose contour. Can you please stop? I'm going to kind of smudge everything a little bit. Not a lot. Hey, can you get off? Alright, so now I'm going to take a tissue because I don't have a makeup wipe, but I'm going to try to wipe off any fallout. Alright, so I'm going to start with primer. Some people don't believe in primer. I personally do. I think it helps my makeup blend out better. And I use two types. I use one that's kind of a more hydrating and glowy primer, even if I'm using a matte foundation, because I just feel like everything glides on it a little bit easier. So the one I'm going to use today is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is the backlight, not the first light one, even though, oh, am I out? Oh my god. I use a pretty good amount of it. And I know the glow in this isn't going to show through as much. But I just like the way this feels on the skin. And even if you're wearing a fuller coverage foundation, I just feel like everything sits on top of it a lot nicer. So that's the first step for me. I let that sink in just slightly, and then I go in with a pore filler, but only on the areas where my pores are more pronounced. So this area, a little bit on my chin, and a little bit on my forehead. So the one I'm going to use right now is the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. The key with this is you take literally the smallest amount. Like, I'll probably use this much for a cheek, and you can't even see any on my finger. And I just take that and press it in. Take a little bit more. Make sure that is blended in. And I work in sections because I just feel like with this primer it works a little bit better. And I do my chin and on my forehead. Like I said, I just really work that in. I also like to color correct because it helps me use less concealer, and I use the Tarte CC Color Corrector. I've been using this for a long time and I really like it. It's really emollient, and I just use my finger. And I obviously use the light to medium shade. This just helps color correct my dark circles. So now I'm going to mix foundations. I am a foundation mixer. It's just how I roll. So the three that I'm mixing, I'm going to mix the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the shade 180, which is a little dark for me, and the Maybelline Superstay in the shade 110, which is a little light for me, but it oxidizes, so I'm also going to mix in the NYX foundation mixer. I'm only going to do about a pump of each because I don't want, actually I'm going to do 2 pumps of the Fenty, but I probably won't use all that. I don't want this to be super full coverage at all, and you'll see how much I actually use. And the Fenty is super, super watery. And if I don't feel like I have the right color or consistency, which I don't, I'll go back in with, you know, whichever one of the mix I don't feel like I got enough of. So in this case, I'm going to go in with another pump of the Superstay because I feel like that'll lighten it up a little bit more. Alright, so then what I do is I take it on my finger like this, and I just start working it in sections like this. It kind of warms it up a little bit, and then I take my sponge. I'm using the Face and Body Sponge from Real Techniques, and I press that into the skin. I do this with all foundations, whether they're dewy or matte, but it works especially well with matte foundations. And that was a super light layer. I still got a good amount of coverage, but I still want some of my skin to peek through. So then of course I go back and do the same thing on the other side. And I just find that the warmth helps it sink into the skin a lot better. And it also, the sponge soaks up a lot of the product, which I like. The only thing I don't like about this foundation combo is, like, if I haven't shaved my face, you can see every little baby hair and it makes it look like I have black hairs on my face, which I do not. They're all blonde. So this is it for foundation. You can still see a little bit of stuff. It's not super full coverage, and I still have that much foundation left, which, yes, is wasteful, but I'm not going to just put it on my face to not waste it. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to wipe it off my hand, and I'll wash my hands eventually. And this is the type of coverage and finish I get. And this is for a more matte look. For my dewy looks, it's a little bit different. The application's the same, but it's going to look different. So I also frequently mix concealers. So today I'm going to mix the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair. I just put this right here where I'm the darkest. And then, because this is so thick and it's also so dark, I'm going to take a more luminous one. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, but you can use the Bare Minerals Bare Skin. That's cruelty free. But this one is so dark, as you can see. So I just put it right here, and it helps it blend out. I've moved away from putting concealer all over my face, and now I just put it underneath the eyes. And I'm going to take my smaller Real Techniques sponge and blend that out. And sometimes I will do the Jackie Aina trick where I let it sit, but not with heart-shaped tape because I feel like it's just too thick. And it also sets really fast. So that's what it looks like, and obviously it's more full coverage. I don't always do as full coverage, but I do always make sure that my dark circles are covered. I have an itch on my nose and it's killing me. So this is what my skin's looking like. No dew at all. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I like to set my face first, not before I set my eyes. I'm going to go see if I have a hair on my face. It's killing me. Got it to the best of my ability, so I'm going to try to fix that where it's all fucked up. Okay. So now I'm going to take my Eco Tools powder brush. It's a domed powder brush. I'm going to use my Too Faced powder. This is my all-time favorite powder. It is a pressed powder. If I use a loose powder, I don't use a brush, I use a beauty blender. And I don't use loose powders under my eyes. I just think that they're too thick. And what I like about this powder is you can put on so much of it and it doesn't ever look cakey. It really does make your skin look poreless. I wish it came in more shades. It does say it's translucent, but I can't speak for that because on me, it doesn't lighten up my foundation, but you know, I'm also light, so. And then for my under eyes, I use the NYX banana powder, and there's several brushes that I use for this. Today I'm going to use the Moda contour brush and set under my eyes. And this brightens everything up. Also sets it. It's a matte powder as well. I bring it pretty far down. And this is a really good one for fair skin. A lot of banana powders are made for like medium to deep skin tones, and the one from NYX is really good for light skin tones. Right, so that's what my face looks like all set. So as you can see, it's pretty matte, but again, I do the same thing if it's a luminous foundation. It's obviously a little bit different because, you know, if it's luminous, it's going to look different. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my eyebrows. I'm just using the e.l.f. brow gel because I'm out of my Ulta one and I can't find my Anastasia one. I think I'm out of that too. So I'm going to take my Marc Jacobs Fantastic Bronzer. I'm going to bronze up the skin with that. This has a lot of powder pickup. Oops. This is the Real Techniques blush brush. I don't really contour these days. Sometimes I do, but not today. This always happens. So, if this does happen to you, just take your powder brush and do what you can. Sometimes it doesn't always help. And you can also just... This is coming off a lot muddier on camera than it looks in person. Just to throw that out there. I'm going to try to match it up on the other side at least a little bit. Alright, and something else I like to do is, even though I don't contour, I do take my banana powder with that same brush and go underneath where I bronzed to give it a highlighted look. Now I'm going to take some blush. This was a limited edition palette, but a good dupe for it is the Ulta blush in the shade Princess. It's almost exactly the same. This is the Melissa Michelle palette. And there's a blush in there called Mahal, but again, it's literally the same as the one in the shade Princess. So I'm just going to go into that. It's like a warm cinnamony color. I'm actually going to put powder onto my powder brush. I should have gone with something a little bit more cooler tone to go with the purple, but the good thing is blush is one of the first things to wear off on your face, so if you do get a little crazy, you don't necessarily have to panic. I'm just going to try to fix the forehead. So that's a little bit more blended, but again, it will all come together a little bit better. I'm going to take that primer spray to help the powder sink into the skin. Before I do my highlight, I'm going to do my lower lash line. I'm going to take that Lorac palette. I'm using my Sephora small shadow brush, I'm going to go in with that shade. I'm actually going to go in with the shade Latte. How long was I talking without the camera running? I took the shade Latte from the Lorac Pro Matte palette. And then I'm going to take a white eyeliner. This is from the Ulta Beauty brand. I'm going to put that in my waterline. Alright, now for highlight. I'm going to go in with the Pixie and Aspen Obard highlight in the shade London Luster. This is the more white shade, and these actually are available. They're just online, so you can still get them. Which is a good thing because I love these. And I put the highlighter on my cheeks, my nose, and in my inner corner. And I'm going to take the Crown 513 and put that in the inner corner. So now for mascara, for my lower lash line, I'm going to use the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. And for my upper, I'm going to use the Essence Lash Princess. It's the one with the green writing. And I only do one light coat because this does get really clumpy. I was giving this a second chance because it worked really well the other day, but it doesn't. I think I'm just going to toss it. I'm done with it. So I'm going to go in with the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes instead. I really want to do red. I'm going to take my Wet n Wild lip pencil in the shade The Red Scene. So then I'm going to take something that isn't cruelty free, but Urban Decay has a shade similar. It's the MAC Russian Red Lipstick. Pretty much anything MAC has, Urban Decay has. Alright guys, this is the completed look. This is how I've been doing my foundation lately, and I found that my foundation has been lasting a really long time on the skin. I found that I don't have as much like wear and I don't get as cakey and things like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, wait. I forgot to set with setting spray. What the heck? Okay. This is the one I've been using. It's the Urban Decay Chill. I knew there was something missing. Generally, I like to do this before mascara, but it really doesn't matter. But yeah, now I'm completed. So yeah, this is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!